technical difficulty there. Ahoy there! Boy, listen to the powerful hum of that Caterpillar V8 engine. It's a glorious thing. Anyway, so we left Bagley, got here to Rugby, North Dakota. We parked here in some shade because, man, is it hot. Oh, wait a minute. What do we have here? A flock of Bluebird buses? This is to look at what is now the geographic center of North America. It's kind of cool. I guess it's moved a few times because of Highway 2, all that sort of thing. I'm pretty sure when California falls into the ocean, they'll have to move it again, whatever. Anyway, you can see they list a couple places here: Acapulco, Nia Bay, that's where there's a Coast Guard station actually. Lubbock, Maine, kind of got the whole thing, and then the Arctic Circle. So at least they're hitting all the main points that we're familiar with. It's still pretty cool. I guess this used to be a Conoco petrol station, and now it's a memorial. Now these pictures are kind of neat because old Captain Morgan was snapping some shots. I think she did a pretty good job too. Now here she was laying upside down, which is why the picture's kind of upside down. Gotta admit, we got some interesting maps. I mean, this is the kind of stuff, sure, it's a little bit Griswold, but it's still pretty cool to look at this stuff. Now, as a homeschooling family, I have to admit, now we're not a COVID homeschooling family. We were homeschooled before COVID. This is some great experience for Morgan. And I gotta tell you, this beats the daylights out of the film strips we had to look at when we were kids. Anyhow, we made it 65 miles here to Minot, and coming into the KOA/camper sale, this first row here, all these campers are for sale. But it's boat sales, camper sales, boat repair, camper repair. They got a little bit of everything going on here. But here we are, and this is where we're going to be basically getting our act together to get ready to jump across that border. And gotta admit, we're a little tired, we're a little nervous, but at the same time, we're pretty darn excited. Ahoy there. It's day before we try to cross into Canada Day. That might wind up being a holiday depending on how badly this goes. We're in Minot, North Dakota. I really envy the people who, no, I don't envy. I admire the people who live here. It takes a hardy soul, I think, to live landlocked. Yes. It's what? 10? Is it 10? Oh, sorry. Captain Morgan here was trying to tell me it was quiet time. Here's the rig. I know you all have seen it before. That's a totally different kind of rig over there. I'll just leave it at that. So I've noticed an alarming trend. Every time we go to a campground, no matter where our reservation is, whether it's over there, back there, over there, or maybe even over there. You know where they put us? Every single time they put us right in the front of the campground. I got a theory about that. Might have something to do with, let's face it, we don't look traditional. Spoke with the former master of this vessel, former captain, today on a few things. We couldn't figure out how to turn some stuff on or off respectively. And, he walked us through it. You always feel bad about that. Because let's face it, that's kind of like asking the guy whose wife you just stole what she likes for Christmas. When we were in Duluth, we stayed in Canal Park there, basically right next to a place that I used to be stationed. Kind of my home Coast Guard station during my enlisted life, and didn't really even feel a need to go visit it, and we actually didn't. We went to the beach across the street from it because we knew it was pretty nice. A couple really good friends visit, Tony and my buddy Greg and his spouse. So really great to see those guys. There's a ton of people we could have visited with. There's a ton of people who we're close to, both in Duluth and the Twin Cities. But this is a logistics run. Come down here, get the rig, get it sorted, get it back. But like I said, tomorrow's the big day. We're in Minot because the best intel we have is that we're the most likely to be able to get across the border. Don't know if you've heard. And a lot of Americans have been irresponsible lately. And the thing is, we have our own version of what we are here. Everyone has their own version of what they are everywhere. I think they call that altruistic bias. And seems the rest of the world thinks we're a bunch of idiots when it comes to COVID, that we think it's some kind of a political agenda. And whatever, I'm not going to say it is or it isn't, but I'm going to say this. The reality is a ton of Americans have been going into Canada saying that they are doing exactly what we're doing, which is trying to get home. Instead, they're turning it into a vacation. And of course, the RCMP don't particularly care for the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Don't particularly care for that. They're writing them some hefty fines. Now, we're not worried about the fines because we intend to do exactly what we said we're going to do, which is we're going to get in there, we're going to get through it, and we're going to get home. Actually, we have a flight planned that has us on a pretty aggressive schedule to get through Canada. So, that's the plan. We'll either make it or we won't. So, wish us luck. Here's Larry's tech tip on buying a camper sight unseen and driving it across 2 countries. If you happen to do a ton of research, hours of research, make sure that you buy the absolute best GPS system available that actually has photos and tells you what's around the next corner, tells you about traffic and road construction and all this altitude. And it's designed specifically for trucks and RVs, and it can take into account your weight and your height and all those different things. That GPS will work a lot better if you actually pack it, not just 4 months before the trip, but the night before you fly out. Needless to say, I look forward to visiting it when we get back to Kodiak. Anyway, hope you all are doing well. Maybe you'll see this, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll see us later, and maybe you won't.
Well, first thing we had to do in the morning was get the bus all ready to go. Jen ran in and picked up some extra groceries while Captain Morgan and I climbed under there, made sure we lubricated the retarder, that we might have gotten a little bit hot along the way. And while we were under there, we also noticed that we had to repair the safety strap and got it taken care of for the generator.
You're not going to believe this, but compliments of some of our good friends. By the way, thanks Bill in particular. We had some good advice on a good way to get through the Canadian border without any trouble. Sorry, the road gets pretty narrow here. And it worked. So we got through the Canadian border, no problems. Actually, they didn't even come in. They didn't look at our booze. Thank God we didn't pour any booze down the drain, because that would have been horrible. Not that we're over. It's just, you get nervous about that kind of stuff. But we made it through, and we're in.
Woo-hoo!
So
We're in Canada!
Yes. Stoked. So now that we're in Canada, we got 7 days left to get to Los Anchorage, get the camper stored securely, and catch our flight. So it ain't over yet. Anyway, but we're in. Maximum 100 kph. Here we go. Now we got to start translating.
So sorry we weren't able to film crossing the border. We're just going to come out and say it. We were nervous. This is when the COVID tension between the United States and Canada was pretty high. So we pulled into this town of Chamberlain. You can see here we have the bus again in the shade. We shaded it
turns out this is an old school that was shut down in 1973. I got to tell you, even though we were in Saskatchewan, it really felt like we were in the Wild West of the United States. You know, it had the prospector stuff, you know, the big grain mills or whatever those things are called, railroads. It looked like the busiest place in the whole town was an ice cream store. Oh, this was cool. Church converted into something surrounded by Chevrolets with a whole bunch of flags on them, which really made it feel like the United States. And then you come around the corner and there's these old trucks. Again, I mean, everything looked like we were somewhere in cowboy country in the United States. It was pretty darn cool. So once the sun finally went down, we moved out of the shade of the school and went over to a proper truck stop to spend the night. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.